Good afternoon. I'm very pleased to be here. I think it's the second time I'm presenting to this conference, and every time, for some reason, I have the worst presenting spot, which is the one just after lunch, when people are starting to talk, are digesting their lunch, and nobody is paying really attention to what I will be saying. But I will try to wake you up and to entertain you. So we at Tixel are a listed company on Euronext, although with a tiny market cap, but still, you have to go through the disclaimer before I can speak to you. I guess you have done it. And so what Tixel is as you know, we develop cellular immunotherapies to treat autoimmunity and inflammatory disorders. And as you will see later, we are not only not in cancer, but we are also using a different cell population as most cellular therapy players are using today. I was appointed CEO of the company only 18 months ago, and it's fair to say that it has not been a walk in the park so far. I had to deal with first the closure of our manufacturing unit. This manufacturing unit was the only source of supply for the only clinical trial the company was conducting, so we had to put this clinical trial on hold. A few months after, and as a consequence of that, I had to terminate the only pharma partnership we had. And more recently, we have taken the decision, although we managed to successfully transfer the technology to a CMO, and although we managed to obtain the authorization to resume the trial that was interrupted 12 months ago, we've decided not to resume this trial as we were seeing some improvement to the process. So we took the decision to go back to the bench, validate the process improvement, GMP validate the process improvement before we can resume the clinical development on our lead program. But there is light at the end of the tunnel, as I like to say, and where I see the light is that Tixel is totally unique. In this space of cellular immunotherapy, as I was saying in the first slide, we not only do not work on T effector cells, and we do not only, we are not using T effector cells, and we are not using it in cancer, but we are using on regulatory T cells to fight autoimmunity and inflammation. And we believe to be the only company in the world to be working specifically on antigen-specific Treg to fight autoimmunity and inflammation. So as you can see in this space, you have a lot of players very familiar to you on the top right side of the chart, and you have Tixel a bit lonely in this space, but our vision is that in the next few years, once the first, let's say, commercial success will be there with CAR-T in cancer, some of these players will come after us, and we'll be very glad when this time will happen, since we believe to have built some, let's say, first mover advantage at that time we'll be able to leverage on in the business discussion with these players. Autoimmunity and inflammation is, as you all know, a very large space. Probably today is the largest, pharmaceutical market in the world. More than 100 diseases, more than $100 billion in annual sales, with significant growth, unfortunately for the patient. And at Tixel, we can theoretically develop a product for each and any of these indications. We need three things. We need to find an unmet medical need. We need to find a relevant antigen. And by the way, compared to cancer, we are not limited by the antigen, because the antigen does not need to be specifically related to the disease. It has to be present in the tissue where there is inflammation. So again, the scope of addressable or usable antigen is very large, much larger than in cancer. And the third thing that we will know is, of course, money, because all this development will cost a lot of money. But again, as soon as we have identified an unmet medical need, as soon as we have identified a relevant antigen to target the activity of the Treg in vivo, and as soon as we have the appropriate level of resource, theoretically, we can develop a product in each and any of these indications. We have two complementary platforms. I would like to present them as the old and the new, but the scientists at Tixel won't be very happy. On the left-hand side, you have the old platform on which the company was started 15 years ago. In this platform, we are using a subtype of Treg that are called the that is called, the type 1 Treg, and we are definitely the only company in the world working on type 1 Treg. And those type 1 Treg have a very differentiating characteristic, is that you can find them in the blood that are naturally antigen specific. So by using those cells, we don't need to do any genetic modification to the cells. So we have a proprietary manufacturing process, which at the end of the day, without any genetic modification, gives us the final product, which is an almost pure population of Treg specific to the given antigen, i.e. the antigen that we want to use for a specific or a given disease. The second platform, which is called Antria, and by the way, Astria stands for antigen-specific Treg in inflammation and autoimmunity. Antria stands for engineered Treg in inflammation and autoimmunity. And as you can guess, in this platform, still, we are only going to develop antigen-specific product, but the antigen specificity is going to come from a CAR that we are going to introduce via a virus into the Treg cells. Okay? In this platform, we are going to use a different subset of Treg, which are called the FOXP3 positive Treg, which, if you look at the literature on Treg, represent probably 95% of the article ever published on Treg. So this is a well-documented population, and we've started work on this platform only 18 months ago. As you will see later during the course of the presentation, we have made significant progress in this platform, and we today have something like 10 different programs. And the idea is to focus on 4 to 5 of these CAR-Treg programs to be the first ever to start a clinical trial with a CAR-Treg program within the next 24 months. In terms of manufacturing process, I'm going to go quick because this is not where we have been very good so far, although we are improving a lot. This is just to highlight the fact that we have 2 platforms, and we will have, of course, 2 different manufacturing processes. With the main difference between that in the second platform, the new platform, the Antria platform, we are going to use technology which have been used in the past to sort the cells, which was a difficulty in the first platform because the type 1 Treg cells that we were using have no cell surface marker. So part of the difficulty, or most of the difficulty in manufacturing we had in the first platform were related to the absence of cell surface marker. That won't be a difficulty in the new platform. The only new difficulty in the new platform will be the fact that we will need to introduce a CAR, so to genetically modify those cells. But it has been proven in the past, not by us, not only by us, but in the literature as well, that you can definitely transfect a Treg without affecting the Treg phenotype, but also without modifying the immunosuppressive activity of the Treg. The portfolio, so again, Astria platform, we have conducted the first trial in refractory Crohn patient, and when we had to stop the trial, as I mentioned before, we were right in the beginning of a phase 2b, still in Crohn, refractory Crohn patient. And we have a second product in this platform, which is called ColTreg, which is using a different antigen to target non-infectious uveitis, which is a rare inflammation of the eye. The new platform, as I said earlier, we are going to focus on 4 to 5 programs with the aim of conducting a first-in-man as soon as 2018, which is, by the way, more or less the time at which we expect to be resuming clinical trial with the most advanced product from the Astria platform. For the second platform, the model that we have chosen is to develop in collaboration with leading academic centers, in the field, either that will bring us some technology that we don't have, like in the case of Hospital San Rafael in Milan, or some expertise in the disease, like, for example, for the Bullous pemphigoid program, for which we are collaborating with the Lübeck Institute of Experimental Dermatology in Lübeck, Germany. A few words about what we have seen so far. First, clinically, in the first trial we have conducted, in refractory Crohn patient. Small trial, 20 patients. 8 patients out of the 20 receive a dose, 10 to the 6, so 1 million cells of Ovasev, ovalbumin-specific Treg. And in this subset of patients, we have observed 75% response, as measured by the Crohn Disease Activity Index, as well as 38% remission after the first and single injection. And that marker of efficacy correlated with some other, let's say, secondary marker of efficacy such as, for example, CRP. And this is on the back of this trial for which data were published in 2012 that we've decided to start the phase 2 that unfortunately we had to stop. But we consider this as being the first and only so far clinical proof of concept of an antigen-specific Treg in an inflammatory condition. More recently, preclinical proof of concept published in GCI by a group at the University of British Columbia in Vancouver. The group of Megan Levings published a few interesting things. First, and we knew that already, but she introduced an HLA-A2 in a Treg, and this transfection did not change or alter the phenotype of the Treg, first. And secondly, this transfection did not change anything to the immunosuppressive activity of the Treg. That was the basis, and we knew that already because, again, we have done it in our labs, and we have seen that in the literature. But more importantly, and the reason why I'm showing you this chart, is that she has demonstrated that injecting HLA-A2 CAR Treg into GVHD patient managed to generate a very differentiating impact compared to a polyclonal Treg. Actually, she was using an irrelevant CAR as a control, and as you can see, not only on the mortality, on the survival, but also on the GVHD score, the HLA-A2 CAR did much better than a non-antigen specific or a polyclonal Treg. That was a very interesting proof of concept that was also the reason why we've decided to collaborate with the group at UBC. And today we are developing a CAR program with the group of Megan Leving at UBC in solid organ transplantation with the aim or the objective to be conducting a first-in-man in a given solid organ transplantation setting within the next 24 to 36 months. I have 2 minutes to conclude. Okay, well, I'm going to go fast. I don't like this slide for some reason. We no longer have any money, so I'm going to skip and go to the conclusion. As you can see, or I hope you could, you've seen during the course of the presentation, TICCELL is very unique. First, we are in cell therapy, and you are not going to learn anything from me today since you are attending this conference. Cell therapy is rapidly becoming a mainstream, and we really hope that what will happen within the next 12 to 18 months in the regulatory and commercial front will prove us right. But in this field, which is becoming mainstream, and again, which very soon we expect will be commercially viable, we are totally different in the sense that we are the only company in the world to work specifically and uniquely on antigen-specific Treg. We address, as I said to you, very large market, probably the largest pharmaceutical market in the world when all the components are put together. We are a platform company, which means that we have multiple product opportunity and multiple partnership opportunity as well. We have a very broad patent estate. I did not mention, I went way too fast. I was under the pressure of time. But we have an umbrella patent on the CAR Treg platform, which theoretically, although we have to be careful with patent, prevent anybody from working on a CAR Treg, whatever the subtype of Treg, without talking to us for freedom to operate. This is something that, by the way, does not exist in the CAR field. Okay? We have the relevant human resource. Of course, I was not going to say to you that we are totally useless. And we have, from an investor's viewpoint, some very interesting near-term catalysts, both on the preclinical basis, on the clinical basis, and hopefully on the partnership front as well. With that, I can conclude my presentation. I thank you very much for your attention.